Hey guys, so this is my YouTube channel. This is where I will upload videos on makeup looks, on beauty tips, on makeup reviews, on a lot of other things that I am so excited to start. This is the first time that I have done a YouTube and recorded myself doing makeup. What I'm going to do today is a very natural, everyday look with a pop of color, of course. If you guys have any suggestions, any comments, please do not be shy to write them down below. So now let's get started. I'm just going to put my hair back and let me show you how I did this look. Okay, so this is my natural face. There is no makeup, nothing on my face. I have never taken a picture without makeup, nonetheless done a video without makeup. But there's a first time for everything. So a little bit about my face. My face are the two extremities that it could be. The bottom half of my face is super dry and my T-zone area is super oily. I really take care of my skin because if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I do not wear foundation on a daily basis, and therefore I take care of it a lot more than maybe I should, because this is what everyone sees on a daily basis. So what I do to take care of my skin is I use, sorry, excuse me, that was my dog. So what I do on a daily basis to target those problem zones of my face is I use two different kinds of moisturizers. For the bottom half of my face that is super dry, I use the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. And for the top half of my face, of my T-zone, I use the Olay Fresh Effects Swirled Mattifier. The Neutrogena one is my newer moisturizer that I have been using for about 2.5 months, maybe. And I have found that this moisturizer really helps the dryness of my face. So all I do is I take some and then I just place it along the bottom half of my face. And then just spread it out. I really do have very dry skin around this area. Mainly, I get flaky and extra dry, especially in the winter. But I find that this moisturizer really helps a lot with that throughout the day. It has a really light and fresh scent, which I really love. If a product has a really strong, pungent smell, I can't use it. It makes me nauseous, and I will smell it throughout the day even if it's already worn off. That's just me. But I really like this one. I really recommend it to anyone that has dry skin. I've also been trying out the Tarte Hydrating Drink of H2O, which is kind of along the same lines as the Neutrogena one, but I find that this one doesn't last as long as this one. But I haven't been really testing it out for long, so I'm going to keep testing it out and I will let you guys know what I think. So after that has all set in, I use the Olay moisturizer and I just put it on the T-zone of my face. Down the nose and on my forehead. I have been using this moisturizer for quite some time because a little goes a long way. I haven't found anything else that does the same thing as this Olay moisturizer does, but if you know of a good oil control moisturizer, let me know down below and I am willing to try whatever. So the next thing I do to moisturize and hydrate my face is put an eye cream. I have been using the e.l.f. Illuminating Eye Cream from their new line, and honestly I have really been liking this. This alone is $10, which is really not bad for an eye cream. It really helps in the mornings when I am getting ready for work. I just dot this along the outside of my eye, or on the bags of my eyes, my inner corner, to my brow bone, and all through my temple. and I find that it really brightens my eyes and really gets rid. I find that this eye cream really does help with the purple and blue of my under eye, and it really makes my eyes look puffier and more awake, which is something I really appreciate in the mornings. So all I do is take some on my finger, on my ring finger, because that is the most delicate finger on your hand, and just dot that and kind of work it in, all from the inner corner to my temple and on my brow bone. And I really like the smell of this too. I love good smelling things. Really like the smell of this too. It's really fresh and it's very light. It's not too thick, so you won't be, sorry about that, it's my dog. So you won't be, Maya! She's trying to get comfortable. So this eye cream really does seep into your skin really fast, and I really like it because of the effect that it gives my eyes. Since I don't wear makeup on a regular basis, this really does help with my under eye circles. And all these moisturizers really do not take long to set on my face, especially for when I'm going to work. Time is essential. So before I start putting on a primer, I also like to put a lip treatment or lip moisturizer, hydrator, whatever you want to call it, on my lips when I know I'm going to put some sort of product on them, regardless if it's going to be matte or shiny or whatever the case is. I always like to hydrate my lips. So what I use for my lip treatment is this Rosebud Salve. I find that this is amazing. I have a really bad habit of picking the skin off my lips. I don't know why I have it. It is really bad and I'm trying to stop. But I sometimes leave scars on my lip, if that's the right word to say. And I just put this overnight and it just magically repairs it overnight. So I really recommend this to anyone that has really dry lips or just needs a really good lip hydrator. This is what you should look for. I actually bought this product at Ulta, but I know you can find it at Sephora. And you get a really good amount of product in this little container. So I'm just going to apply this to my lips. So what I have been trying out for primer lately is a well talked about face base. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I actually found this at the checkout counter at Sephora. It was on one of their reward lines, and the minute I saw it, I knew I had to get it. This is really talked about by a lot of YouTube makeup artists, and I knew I had to try it out since it looks so good on them. So what I do is I just get some product on my finger and I just dot it all over my face. You don't really need a lot. A little goes a long way. So I'm just going to put that on my face. And then blend it out. And blend it out. I find that this base really helps with my pores. I have really visible pores due to the oiliness of my face, and I guess due to the combination of my face. So I find that this really helps with my pores when I am wearing foundation. So once that is set, I like to put on an eyeshadow primer. I know a lot of people put it on right after you put on concealer or foundation, or even just right before you apply the eyeshadow on your eyes. But I really like to put it on along with my moisturizers and primers. So what I am using is the Wet n Wild Take on the Day eyeshadow primer. This is from the Fergie line that Wet n Wild had. I don't know if you can get this in stores anymore. Last time I checked, they didn't have any Fergie products at all. You might still be able to get this online on the Wet n Wild website, or maybe on another website. I'm not so sure, but if I find a website that has it, I'll post it down below. I find that this primer actually works very, very well since I do have oily eyelids. It does not crease my eyeshadow all day, and it does sometimes make the colors pop. Okay, so after I have that, it is time to get into foundation. So what I have been using recently is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte 24 Hour Foundation. I am in the color 105 Beige. This foundation has worked very, very well for me since I do have oily skin. It kind of controls my oil, the oil on my T-zone. What I use to apply foundation is a beauty blender. I have wet and taken out the excess water out of this beauty blender so that it doesn't absorb any extra product that I don't need it to. So I just take a little on the back of my hand and grab it with the beauty blender and start putting it on my face. After I have applied foundation, I am going to add my concealer. What I have been using is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in medium. So I'm just going to grab some and put it along my under eyes, spread it almost towards my temple, make sure that it is all the way inside my inner corner, and then just spread it out towards my cheeks. And same with the other side, towards my temple. I'm also going to add a little bit on my forehead, same way as my under eyes, and just kind of like that, like a V. Same with my chin, especially because I have a little bit of problem areas in that spot. So I'm just going to put it under, just like that. And with the same beauty blender, I'm going to grab the pointier side and blend that out. I'm going to make sure that I really get the concealer in my inner corner because that is where you find a little bit of extra skin. And if you don't really make sure that it is well put in your inner corner, that's how creases start. So I want to really make sure that I get that in there. Really want to blend it out. Once your concealer has been blended out onto your face, I'm going to immediately go in with my translucent powder. Right now I am using the Palladio Rice Powder. And what I use is that little puff that comes inside. I find that that is the most effective way to get the powder onto my face. So what I do to set my face is what people call the baking method, which is basically going to give you a more flawless look under your concealer and it's going to brighten up the places that you did conceal, which is under your eyes, your forehead, and your chin, which is most of the time the higher points of your face, and it will give it that extra brightness. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pack on my translucent powder anywhere that I applied concealer. And you're just going to let that set for a couple of minutes. I know this looks funny, but trust me, it will help you set your foundation and set your highlight under your eyes when it's finished. So after a few minutes have passed, I am just going to take a large powder brush and lightly sweep off that powder, the excess powder. You don't want to go hard on your face because you will end up smearing the product and not letting it fully set like it's supposed to. I'm just going to take it, I'm going to grab the end of the brush, which will give me a lighter hand, and I'm just going to sweep off that excess powder on the face. After I have finished sweeping off the excess powder off of my face, I like to do my eyebrows before I do my eyeshadow. I don't use regular eyeshadow products. This was actually recommended to me by one of the MAC associates when I walked in to get eyebrow products. What she recommended to me was to use an eyeshadow, and it has worked for me for as long as I've been doing my eyebrows. So what I use, and I've actually hit pan on this already, is I use the color Brune from MAC, and I fill in my eyebrows with that. I also use, from the Naked 2 palette, the color Tease, which is a lighter brown for the front portion of my eyebrows. This just works for me. I haven't tried anything else. I have bought a couple products that I am testing out and that I really like, but I don't want to show in videos until I'm 100% sure that I love it. So what I do is I take my spoolie and I just brush out my eyebrows in the direction that I'm going to do them. Once I have done that, I'm just going to take a small angle brush and dip it into the color Brune. And all I am going to do is take that and start applying my eyebrows. So the way that I do my eyebrows is I do small strokes, and I start the small strokes from about here, this portion of my eyebrow. I leave the front portion of my eyebrow alone for the moment, and I just start with small strokes in the directions that the hairs of my eyebrows go. After a couple of strokes, I take again my spoolie and I brush out my eyebrow again, just to kind of blend in the strokes with the hairs of my eyebrow. As for the end of my eyebrow, I just go along with the length of the natural hair of my eyebrows. I don't extend it more. I don't really thicken up my eyebrows or do anything extra with them. I just really follow the pattern of the hairs of my eyebrow and just kind of fill in the spaces that don't have hair. And I really just follow the natural arch of my eyebrow. And again, I'm going to take the spoolie. Sorry if I have the mirror in the way, I just kind of have to get used to this whole looking at the camera, no mirror, only with the viewfinder. Next, I'm just going to grab the Color Tease from the Naked View palette. I don't wipe off the brush. I keep the brown on the brush just to get it closer to the color of my hairs, just to get it closer to the colors of the hairs of my eyebrows. And what I do with that is I use that to fill in the front portion of my eyebrow. And again, I'm going to do a couple of strokes and then blend it in with the other color. Okay, once that is done, I will grab my spoolie again and brush out the hair one more time, just to kind of blend in all of the strokes that I did from the front and the back, to just give it a nicer look. What I actually use to set my eyebrows is actually not even an eyebrow setting gel. It is actually the Maybelline Transparent Mascara. I have been using this for quite a while, and I find that it really does help my eyebrows stay in place and the color not fade away. So I am just going to take that and apply it to my eyebrows. It is really cheap, a lot cheaper than a lot of the other brands of eyebrow setters or eyebrow gels. It is actually $4 to $5 depending on where you go buy the product. And I find that it does the exact same thing as the eyebrow gel. So I'm just going to apply an even coat to my eyebrow and kind of brush them in the direction that I need them to go. And there you go. That's what I do for my eyebrows. Now I'm just going to do the other side and I will be right back. Okay, so now that I have both of my eyebrows done, I did want to remind you that, and I quote from many other people that have done makeup videos of all times, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. My eyebrows are not identical. I don't think I will ever be able to pluck them enough, shape them enough to where they are identical. If you have a way to make them identical, please let me know because I have not figured it out. One of my eyebrows has a, I guess, natural arch to it. It runs in my family. I cannot get rid of it. And I don't want to because I actually like the shapes of my eyebrows. This one is a little higher than this one. So when it comes down to me doing my eyebrows, I really just follow the shape of my eyebrow. I don't try to make the other one match this one because that's how it is. That's just how it is, and I don't really want to put on extra product and make it look like something it's not. If you like to do that, go ahead. It works for you. I just personally don't like to do that. So now I'm going to get on to my eyes. I am going to do a very natural, everyday look that I love to do on a regular basis. Just that matches with any season, any time of day, anything. It's one of my favorite looks. So let's get started. What I'm going to start off with is a very natural eyeshadow color, one that matches my skin tone. That eyeshadow is going to help blend out the rest of the colors that I'm going to put on my eyelid, as well as set everything that I have added on to my eyelid as for foundation or concealer and my primer that I put on. So what I am using is from the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette, and I am using the color Skimp. I don't know if you can see that. the color Skimp and the color right above it, which is Stark. Blending these two colors together will help me achieve a color that is closer to my skin tone, therefore making it a lot better. So the brush that I am using is actually from the new Wet n Wild brushes. I find that these are really, really nice and they are super affordable. They're really hard to find right now, so this is the only one that I have and I already love it. So I am just going to grab this color and put it all over my eyelid. After I have applied that color all over my eyelid, I am going to take a smaller kind of round brush. I'm not sure what you can call this brush. I really like this for the crease of my eye. It really gets in the crease of my eye, therefore I use this with everything. So I'm going to go back into the Gwen Stefani palette and I am going to use the color Zone, which is a light brown, and I'm going to apply that into my crease. And that is going to also act as a transition color for the darker colors that I'm going to use. I'm just going to apply that in there. And I'm using a very light hand for the color, but I am actually getting it into the crease just to give me a little bit extra depth and color on my eyelid. And once I have that color in my crease, I'm going to use a large blending brush and I'm just going to blend it a little upwards on my eye and really get all of those harsh lines out. So as you can tell, I am using the end of the brush because I really do not want to put a lot of pressure on this blending because I do want it to give a very smoky effect, which applying that neutral skin color eyeshadow first will help me achieve that a lot faster and it will really look nicer. Once I have applied enough product on both eyes to where I feel like it is basically the same thing, I'm going to go in with a pencil brush and going to take a darker brown. In this case, I will be using Punk from the same Gwen Stefani palette. And I'm just going to grab a little bit on the tip of my eyeshadow brush, tap off any excess, and work that into the outer V's of the eye. Again, don't worry about any harsh lines. We will blend those out in just a second. I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. Once you have applied the darker eyeshadow to the outer corners of your eye, again, I'm going to take the same blending brush and I'm just going to blend those two colors together to where there is no harsh lines. After you have blended out the darker color with the lighter color that we put in your crease, I'm going to go back into the same Gwen Stefani palette and I'm going to use the color Steady. And I'm going to go back in with the same eyeshadow brush that I used to put on the lighter color and apply that color all over my eyelid. And I'm just going to do that by patting the color on my eyelid. After I have applied that color all over my eyelid, I'm going to go back into my blending brush. After I have applied that color onto my eyelid, I'm going to go back in with the blending brush and blend all the colors together to where there is no harsh lines on your eyelid. Once you have blended out all of the colors of the eyeshadow to where there is no harsh lines, I'm going to go back in with a smaller pencil brush, and I'm going to take the same color that I used for the outer V of my eye, and I'm going to apply that to the lower lash line. And I'm going to go back in with my blending brush and blend that line a little out. Once you are done with that, I'm going to grab that same pencil brush, but this time I'm going to just wipe it off a little bit, and going into the Naked 2 palette, I'm going to take the color Verve, or Verve. I'm going to take that color Verve and I'm going to put it in my inner corner. Taking that color and kind of blending it in with that darker brown that we used to line the lower lash. For eyeliner, what I have been using for a long time now is this L'Oreal Linear Intense liquid liner in Carbon Black. I don't know if you can see that. But this liquid liner is actually my holy grail liquid liner. It's going to be a little hard doing this and staying in frame, so if I am out of frame for a while, I'm so sorry. Okay, so definitely putting on eyeliner and staying in frame is not the easiest thing. Props to those that know how to do it. I'm going to try to stay in frame with this eye and try my best to do the best eyeliner that I can. If I go out of frame, I am so sorry. With my eyeliner, I try to do it as even as possible, but again, nothing in your face is the same way. One of my eyes is smaller than the other, so I have to adjust the eyeliner to where they both look sort of even, and this is as best as it's gonna get. So to line my tight line, I use the Milani Ease Liner for eyes in black, and I just use that to tight line my waterline. And now what I'm going to do is apply some mascara because I will be adding some false lashes, some false lashes for the sake of the video. This mascara is my holy grail mascara. I have been using this since high school. It is the Colossal Volume Express in the Cat Eyes version. I love the way that this applies on my eyelashes. The brush is perfect for my eyelashes, and it really knows how to coat my lashes individually to where it has a really nice effect. So I'm just going to apply one coat of that to my eyelashes. I am going to be grabbing some false lashes. The ones that I will be using are the 1/16s from Ardell. They are the natural lashes, and with Duo Glue I will be applying those. After I have my lashes on, I'm just going to grab the mascara again and blend in both the false lashes with my natural lashes. Once that is done, last thing I'm going to do to my eyes is I'm going to grab an angled eyeshadow brush. Going back into the Naked 2 palette, I'm going to use the eyeshadow Booty Call, and I'm going to grab that and put it on my brow bone, just to act as a highlight. And the same. And the same with the other eye. I really like this color for the brow bone. It's actually very light, but it will give you the highlight that you need. And then going back with my blender brush, I'm just going to blend that ever so lightly, just so there won't be any harsh lines. So now moving on to my face. To contour my face, what I have been loving to use is this Wet n Wild contour palette. And this is something that has been very popular right now in the YouTube world because it is a very cheap contour kit. So the brush that I am going to be using is this one. It's kind of angled, but it's not so much. I don't know how to explain this brush, but this is the one that I'm using. So I'm just going to take the brush and grab a little bit of the darker side, top off any excess, and put that onto the hollows of my face. The hollows of your face being what deepens or what sinks into your face under your brow bone, under your cheekbone. I'm just going to draw a line from my ear towards my mouth. Do not worry about the blending. We will blend in just a second. And again with the other side. Once that is on your face, I'm going to grab a dome brush and I'm going to go in my blush that I have been using. I have been using the NARS, one of the NARS blushes in the color Ghoul. I don't know if you can see that. It says Ghoul. And I am going to be just ever so lightly tapping that into the eyeshadow, into the blush. Why can I not talk towards the end of this video? Into the blush, tap off any exits, and put that on the apples of my cheeks, going towards the back of my face. I'm just going to lightly put that on there, just to add some color to my face. And I'm just applying that in a swirling motion. And again to the other side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab an angled brush, an angled powder brush, and I'm going to blend it out. Blend out the contour as well as the blush that we just applied. What I am going to go into is the highlight, which is of course everyone's favorite part. So what I have been really loving is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Sticks, I believe that's what they're called. And this is in the color Vegas Strip. You can actually use these strips for about anything. You can use it for a highlight, you can use it for a bronzer, you can use it for an eyeshadow. This has a multi-purpose use. So what I'm going to use for the highlight is actually a smaller brush. First is I'm going to grab this brush and sweep it onto the first three colors, which is the colors that I like to use for highlight. And I am just going to swipe it lightly on the tops of my cheekbone. And then I'm also going to grab a fan brush that I have and take it into those colors again. And again sweep it onto my cheekbone. By using both, I kind of get a little bit more shimmer on the face and more highlight, which I think everyone loves. right now. And the same for the other side. After I have done that, I am going to just grab a little bit with my finger and put it on the higher point of my nose, which is just right here, and on my Cupid's bow. After I do that, I'm just going to go in with the last step of this whole look, and I am going to apply lip color. The lip color that I have chose for this look is not really that natural, but it does go along with the spring and summer that is coming really soon. This is one of the Milani Lip Amore liquid lipsticks, or lip cream, in the color 15 Gorgeous. So I am just going to take my MAC 316 SE brush, which is a lip brush, and I'm going to grab the color off of the brush, which is going to help me kind of apply the lip color more precise to my lips. Okay, so my camera cut off since it ran out of battery, but all I did was apply the rest of the lip color. And that's it, you guys. That's all I do for a kind of natural with the pop of color look that you can wear any time of day, and it will look really, really well on any kind of skin tones. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to be making lots more videos. If you have any suggestions of any kind of videos that you guys want me to do, just comment down below and let me know what you want me to do, and I will do it. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Hi. Why are you interrupting me?